All right, kids, change here. That is the name of the people I've been saying Hohokam. This is a representation of a compound, smaller homes. We're going to go into one here in a second. In the summertime, in the wintertime, you'd get in there and stay warm, collecting whatever you needed to, whatever you could to keep the thing warm, and made out of adobe. In the summertime, in the wintertime here now, it gets down into the 40s and 50s occasionally at night, but it's not terribly cold. In the summertime, it gets up to 110, 112, 115. Extremely dry. On a humid day, it's 20%. So the adobe walls will hold heat from the day and cool off during the nights. They will also, because it takes a while for them to heat up, it's cool inside. You would have a thing like this. I think this is called a ramada post. You can see the shade, cross members. Then I don't remember what those are called. That's a type of cactus, I think, to provide you some shade. Get over here in the shade. Got food production here. 3 metates. Smaller would be for like processing paints or smaller seeds. Larger for corn, acorns. I don't know if they ate acorns here. Grinding whatever you need to grind. Now, you've got a cement slab, obviously, and the metate is attached to the cement slab to keep it from getting stolen. On top of that is a mano. The food product is put there, and then the mano is moved back and forth to crush it. You can see from how, maybe you can, how dusty the dust is there where kids have come along and moved it back and forth. So different sizes, different products, different techniques, different plant products that you need to crush. You got your little wall here providing some protection. Now home. Fire pit. Post to hold up the roof, keep it from collapsing there in the middle when you can't get posts long enough. Your stuff is hung on the wall. Oh, cotton. I'd forgotten that they raised cotton. Cotton was traded. Here's an example of a piece of cloth being made. You process the cotton, turn it into cloth. You can sell the cloth for more than the cotton. You can sell the cotton, a basket for hauling stuff, cotton probably, other products, baskets for a variety of tasks and a variety of functions, mortise and pestle for, again, grinding things. Obviously they didn't have a chainsaw to cut that off, so they would have cut it off and then sanded it down by rubbing it on the ground, I imagine. Water transport in a gourd. Gourds would have been a product of plant of choice to grow. Plant gourds at the bottom of this thing. The gourds were then covered up and you got even more shade. This one is closed, so I'm not going to push on the door or anything. Now imagine living with a couple hundred people. Another pestle for processing stuff, digging stick for digging holes to plant your corn and your beans and your squash and your gourds and your this and your that. Pit houses are more common during the basket weaver thing, but they were some of the earliest. You dig a hole 2 or 3 feet down, line it with stones, build up the outside wall, and have yourself a nice little place to live. And because these are a little bit too airtight, you would have a air inlet that would come under the walls and would bring air into the room. Fire pit in the middle, and the smoke would go up. It heated would hot air rises, cold air comes in, so you get you don't die of carbon monoxide poisoning. And that, my kids, is an example of a small home complex. You could replicate this as often as you needed to. Here's a different kind of home. Let's go over there and look at it. Oh, saguaro cactus. Here's an answer to what I was, those things. Those, once it's dead, you chop them out of there, or that can be used up there as fill. There's a species of cactus that has I've got splinters in my mind, and now I can't. Thorns. It makes good fencing to keep people and animals out. Mesquite tree. Eat the beans off of this, so that'd be a good thing to have. We have just a little complex put together. Now, one of the advantages, why would the doors be so small? One of the advantages of having a small door is whoever comes in has to bend down, and in order to get into there, you got to bend down and crawl in. It makes it easy to whack you in the back of the head. You can't fight well in this little 4 or 5 foot, for lack of a better word, entrance tunnel. And that probably would be turned the other way at night, so that anyone wanting to come in is going to have more trouble getting a hold of it, like these two are. Pedestal. More evidence of working outside. It's obviously a lava rock. I wonder how much of that would rub off into your food and you'd get to eat it. Let's go over here and see what this label says. And similar to what the other one did. It houses 450 AD. It's good to read stuff like that. Has a cutaway on the side. These are taller than what the folks that live here would have made them, because they weren't as tall as we are or as fat as we are. And we got a hole in the side so that we can get into it. So now imagine cutting all of this wood product with flint stone implements that is continuously breaking off and having to be reshaped. Pottery. I'm not sure what those spatulas for cooking. A tiny little pedestal, vessel, and mortar. A relatively newer metate. More baskets for transferring things. Rope, cord, could have been made out of plant fibers. Stretch my memory here. I'll get back to that in a second when I remember. Take the fibers from plants and turn them into ropes. We still do that. Grasses, and I can't think of the other plant that's used for that, to tie things together. You could also use that cotton that we looked at earlier. This is the entranceway. Now, this entranceway would have been shorter too. So imagine trying to crawl through that to attack someone. And you get out here, and And I'm waiting right here, and as soon as you get in, I whack you on the head. Life is good, huh? Ball courts. Remember the ball courts that the Aztecs had? And the theory is that the winning team, the losing team rather, was sacrificed to the gods. These folks, as part of their creation story, when they first came up from the underworld, there were lots of people here playing all sorts of games. Here's a game played by women. Here's a game played by men, similar, looks like, to what the Aztecs played. These were peaceful distribution of goods. Games were occasions for ceremonies that bring rain, social gatherings, and peaceful distribution of goods and traditional crafts and food. 750 to 1200, the O'odham ancestors constructed permanent facilities to host inter-village events. This is a unique ball court in that it's been excavated and stabilized. 250 or so ball courts in Arizona. This one is special. Imagine coming here, trading with people that lived in the area, bringing your goods in to trade, getting things that you can't get back home, bringing them flint, going home with jewelry. When you get home, being able to sell that jewelry for exorbitant prices to get buffalo robes or whatever you needed from your folks back home. From here to let me think. The Amarillo area, north of Amarillo, Alabates flint, which was widely traded around the United States. Alabates flint was extremely important. You could bring it here, trade it to these folks, get valuable stuff to take home and sell for even more profit at both ends, as they say. A desert in the kitchen. Outdoor kitchen used for cooking demonstration by Acamel O'odham, or the Pima, from the Salt River. Let's go around and have a look. Cholla buds being cooked, apparently. How long do you reckon it'd take to gather enough of these to build this fence? Here's that example of the thorns on the outside. I don't remember what this is called, but these thorns will still stick you, and it would keep people away from here that you don't want here. This is obviously a more modern cook setup. They didn't have bricks back then, but might have used this sort of a setup. Spot for a big fire over there. Water, that would be handy for the O'odham, wouldn't it? Black Tipperary beans being grown. Devil's claw, I'm not sure what that is. Squash, already growing. Life is good. That plant that I talked about that has the thorns, this is the ocotillo. I'd like to be the old boy that got tasked with coming out, cutting down enough of this to make a fence. You know, 100 years, 50 years here in the desert, that stuff will still be there standing, making walls. Courtyard outside of the museum. I'm going to give it a whirl here right quick. Now, the idea of having a courtyard is still something that we use today. Buildings around this area so that you can do stuff out here when you need to, they would have done the same thing. Entering Pueblo Grande. Prepare to be either amazed or bored to death. My wife would hate it here. She's not one for walking around old places. See if I can get the other name that it goes by now. This is the courtyard out front. Oh, just saw a lizard over there. This is the courtyard out front. Unlike some places, it's not ridiculously expensive. Nope, that's not a name.